Hello, everybody. So today we're reading Angelica the Grape from Rugrats, chapter book 7. So here it goes. Sorry. Chapter 1. Timmy Pickles wiped the sweat from his forehead and sighed. It is really hot out here, he said to his friend as he dragged his plastic yellow shovel into the sandbox. Yeah, it's hard work to dig the biggest hole in the world, added Phil. Um, Sam nodded. Maybe we should stop digging, Tommy, Sam said. Who knows what's down there? There's could be monsters, big monsters with big red eyes and sharp teeth. And Sam stopped and started shaking. He scared himself. Maybe there's ice cream oceans and cookies trees down there, Tommy said, trying to calm Sam. And we'll never know if we don't know digging. If we don't keep digging. Tommy's right. Phil nodded. Sam to have keep digging. Phil's twin sister ill complete her brother's thought. She grabbed the red shovel and for Phil and began to dig. That's mine, Phil shouted. You have to share, Phil Lil ill told him. Mommy always said so. Stop grabbing Lillian, Phil answered. That's what Mommy always says. Does not Phil argued. Does too, Phil shouted back. Tommy, cousin Angelica had been sitting around a tree watching the baby dig. She always getting bored. Angelica uh, wanted to play a game. She needed the babies to play her. Angelica walked over and put her arm put her arm around Sam and smiled at him. Sam looked up nervously at Angelica. Angelica was never nice to him unless she wanted something. What did she want now? Sam, right, you know. Angelica told Tommy, Phil, and ill. There are monsters down there, and they are scary. They are big and fat, and they are so tall they can look right into your bedroom window without standing into tippy toes. I got watch out, Sam cried. He scrambled out of the sandbox, took off his glasses, and wiped themselves nervously. Angelica smiled. There was here a chance to change that the baby play her game. I know a nice safe play a game that we can play. Angelica told the babies it's called Castle. How do you play that? Il asked. Well, I pretend that I am the queen living in a big castle, Angelica said as she began to dance around the yard, pretending to hold the shirt of the imaginary ball gown. What do we pretend to be? Tommy asked. Big cousins. Big cousin. That the fun part. Angelica stopped dancing and stared at the babies. You all get to pretend to be my servants. You have to do everything I told you to do because I'm the queen, she explained. Tommy forward castle sounded she like all the other games. Angelica tried to get the babies to play. That's no fun, he said. I think I'll keep digging. Fine, Angelica said. Just don't come crying to me if giant monsters jump up and scare your baby brother. She got towards Tommy's room, where his little brother Dill was sleeping soundly in his crib. Tommy thought for a minute his mom, Didi, was in the kitchen, his dad, Stu, was in the basement workshop, and his grandpa, Lou, was busy sleeping in front of the TV with those grand grown-ups at home. Dill seemed pretty safe. So did Tommy and the other babies. No thanks, Angelica. Tommy told his cousin, I don't think my monsters are going to keep us. You are just trying to scare us. Phil and Dill picked up their shovel and joined Timmy in their sandbags. Only Sam stood outside the box. He looked for his friends, so Angelica finally he decided that it was besides his best friend. Sam climbed into the sandbox once again and began to shovel the sand. Angelica put her hand on the dip hips. She was mad. You babies are going to be sorry, she warned. Tommy, Phil, and Il ignored Angelica, but Sam glanced over and gulped. This was not good. It got mad. She was much more dangerous than monster could ever be. Chapter 2. Angelica stormed angrily across the yard and sat down in the shade as she climbed the hair off her doll. Cynthia, she tried to think of ways to make the baby sorry. I could tie all their shoelaces together, she said. Then she stood her head. That wouldn't work 'cause I don't know how to tie shoelaces. Maybe before Angelica could finish her thought, she heard a loud clicking noise. Suddenly, a burst of water came up from the grass. The water was only shouting up into the area near the sandbox. Angelica knew that the water was from the new automatic underground sparkle system Stu had pointed in. It was just like the one at her home. The sparklers turned on all by itself. Water pointed up in different areas of the yard throughout the day, but the babies did not know what the water was coming from. In underground sparkly system, all they knew was that their hole in the sand was filling up with water. It's running, and Sam shouted to others. He had not noticed that the water was coming from the ground instead of the sky. Let's go inside before we get all wet. Hey, don't we have to go inside? Il said. Yeah, look, it's not raining there. Angelica Phil nodded. The babies turned and stared at Angelica. True, the water was pouring down the babies, but Angelica was nice and dry. How Angelica do that? Sam asked to the babies crammed out of the sandbox. Over towards Angelica, Tommy shook his head. I don't know, he said, but there's lots of reasons why it's raining there and not there. Like what? Sam asked. Chucky scratched his head. Well, I'm not sure. There must be one. Maybe Angelica's a witch. Phil suggested, like that one on TV that has magic powers. Ill finished. Magic powers. Ill finished. Sam started to shake again. It was bad enough that Angelica was bigger than they were. Excuse me. If we had magic powers today, she could. Sam tried to stop his brain from thinking it was too scary. Me, he began nervously. Shh, tell me where. Let Angelica know you're scared of her, but it was too late. Angelica had already overheard the baby. She smirked. See, I told you babies that going to be sorry, she said. I made it rain on you. Magic powers, now big old hole full of water. Angelica began to laugh. Ha 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 ha. Tommy stared at his cousin. How come you never showed us your magic powers before, Angelica? As he asked Angelica. Because I got them, she said. I had to wait until today before I could use my powers. Well, are we gonna get powers too? Lil ill asked Angelica. Shouted her head. No, you have to be specially picked to get magic powers now. You want me to make it rain? Stop to do as I say, otherwise the whole sandbox is going to be pile of mush. Chucky stood by Angelica and I am sorry, Angelica. He apologized quickly. I will play castle with you. Angelica smiled. Oh, smart move, Finster, she said. Then she turned into Tommy and the twins. And how about you, babies? Tommy looked at the big white puddle behind him. He had no choice. He had to play Angelica's game. Tommy nodded his head, so Phil and ill. Tommy looked over the grass and the sandbox. The water was still hitting pretty hard. Okay, he said, we are playing with you, Tommy told Angelica. How come you're not stopping the rain? Angelica gulped. She didn't have any answer for that one. She didn't know how to turn the sparkle down. Angelica kicked the grass by her feet and her foot stamped something hard. It was the hidden sparkler switch. Suddenly the automatic spray turned off. It was gas. Wow, Sam exclaimed. Did you see that? Ew, and Phil asked. Now even Tommy had to believe that his cousin has two magic powers. That was really amazing, Angelica, he said. Angelica smiled and then shook her head. You can't get me, Angelica, anymore. She said, I am the leader of bunch. For now on, you babies can have to call me Angelica the Great. If you don't, I will use my magic powers to squash you. Sam was still too amazed by the fact that Angelica had stopped the rain to hear what she stopped for climbing. What did she say? She whispered to Tommy. She wants us to call her Angelica. The great, the great. Tommy said. Why? Sam whispered back. She said she's part of her bunch. Tommy replied. I guess that makes her the head grape. She does look like a grape. A purple dress, called Angelica. Seems pretty silly to Sam, but he wasn't about to argue with her. Now that she had magic powers, none of the babies were willing to question that powerful Angelica the Great. Chucky had, Sam, get out a get out a drink now. Sam started to shake whenever she heard Angelica's voice coming from the lounge chair. She placed then the tree in the backyard. Angelica had been ordering the babies around all morning. Yes, Angelica, he answered as he nodded ahead towards the kitchen. Now, Finster, what did you call me? Angelica the term yes, Angelica the grape. Sam said, "No, Angelica the Great. Angelica the Great." She corrected. "Now move it." Sam raced into the kitchen as quickly as she could. Let's see. Angelica said as she looked around for the next victim. Her eyes reset. "I feel and ill." "You two," said, calling the twins to her side. "Cynthia and I would like a little entertainment. I order you both to sing Cynthia's favorite song." What is what is this song? "What song is it?" Phil asked her. Angelica sighed. "Cynthia's favorite song is the song from Cynthia's commercial." "I don't," Phil said. "Me neither," Phil admitted. Angelica sighed again and sat up. "I don't have to teach you babies everything I do. We asked impatiently. She asked impatiently. Then she began to sing, "I am Cynthia, by me, here I'm the thing. I could be a doctor, I could be a teacher, I could be who could hurt a flea. Couldn't hurt a flea. I don't need a diploma or a college degree. Just a lot of outfits. Then you can buy me, buy me." When Angelica finished the song, it claimed, "That was nice," Phil, Phil said. Angelica glares at Phil. "I mean, was nice, Angelica the Great." Phil corrected himself. "It's Angelica the Great. Great, not grape." "Oh, never mind," Angelica sighed. She sat to the chair and placed Cynthia in her lap. "Now you two sing this song." Phil and Il stood by Angelica's chair. They looked at deep breath and began to sing. "I'm Cynthia, by me, just." Sam came back outside grabbing two purple juices boxes. "Good grape juice," Angelica shouted. "Hurry and bring it over here." Angelica, the Chucky replied. He crossed the lank Tommy dog. Sparkle, who had began sleeping, woke up. He thought Sam was playing with him. Sparky ran after Sam and jumped. "Sparky, no!" Tommy yelled, but it was too late. Sparky to Sam. Sam dripped all and fell. One, the two juices went Chucky arms and landed splashed right on Angelica. The sticky purple juice spilled over Angelica's dress. "Now you are Angelica the Great," Tommy cried. Not the Trying not to laugh. Angelica made a face. "Well, at least there's still one juice box, isn't?" Squash, she made a grim in the other boxes from Sam's hands and began drinking from the straw. "Angelica, that's mine," Sam said. As I started drinking it, Sam began to cough. She coughed so hard, grape juice came out of her nose. Splash, baby grape. Chucky. Then she picked up the straw from the box, then laid on her loud chair. She placed it in Chucky juice box, sat back, and took a sip. "Ah, that's better," she said. Then she turned to Timmy. Come here." Timmy nodded over to his cousin. Angelica handed him the juice box. "Told him for me," she said. Timmy held the box while Angelica stuck the juice from the jar. Timmy frowned. It wasn't true how much of Angelica the Great he would be able to take. Then Didi came out. She had frozen fruit juice box in her hand. "I thought you sweeties might be ill, might like a cold treat," she told Angelica and the babies as she handed each of them a pop. Then she went back inside. "Yum, yum, yum," Tommy exclaimed as she got ready to lick a pop. "Oh no, you don't," Angelica cried out. "Grab the pop from Timmy. That's mine." Those pops are mine. Why? Tommy demanded. So I'm Angelica the Great. The Great. Even belongs. Everything belongs to me, Angelica said. Tommy reached over and took the pop back from Angelica. I don't want to play castle no more. Chucky stared at his friend Timmy. What are you going? What are you? What are you doing? Chucky asked. She might be using her powers on you. I don't care, Tommy said. Some baby gotta do what a baby's gotta do. I am hot. I am going to eat my fruit juice pops. Me too. Declare me too, Phil. Angelica popped up from her chair. You babies are going to be so sorry. She shouted. She began waving her hands, wildly pretending to create some very dangerous magic. To everyone's surprise, include Angelica, the sprinkler went as once in a different corner of the yard. Angelica's eyes opened wide as she amazed at her good luck. Now the babies would really be afraid of her. See what I did? She sparked. Tommy grinned. Thanks, Angelica. Angelica watched her little cousin run over into the water and began to play in the sparkler. Chucky, Phil, and Il followed him. Look at me, Phil shouted to the others. He filled his mouth with water and spit it in the long stream. Sorry. As he looked like a baby water fountain. I want to try that, Il said as she tried to copy her brother. Oh, I got cold water in my diapers. Tommy giggled as Angelica watched the babies in the water. She got angry. The angry things we're not going the way she planned it, but she was about to give up. You babies better be careful, she told them. I'm just getting started. Angelica wandered into Timmy's house. She walked in the hall and she cried, calm down, a new plan to make the babies do what she wanted them to do. But she couldn't make a one thing. Finally, she threw herself down a big couch to rest, thinking was tiring. Suddenly, Angelica spotted a small black rectangular object sitting in the coffee table. She seemed something just like her mother's pouch, but it was a car remote control. Her mother used it to the car open turn out the lights. She didn't even have to be her to do it. Angelica smiled. The car remote worked like magic. Angelica giggled happy as she scooped the remote control from the table and placed it in front of the pocket of her dress. Then she raced out into the yard. As Angelica came outside, she ran. The babies playing the sparkler. Her tongue about were all red from the fruit juice pops. Her hair and clothes were wet. They would look like we're having lots of fun without her. Okay, babies, I warn you, she called out. I'm really going to show you my march squad how they work. Angelica ran back into the house toward the front door and she yelled the car remote where no one could see it. Then she pushed one button. There was a loud beeping. Angelica waiting for the babies to come running over to see the noise was coming from, but then they didn't. So she pushed the button again and again. Finally, Angelica heard their footsteps. She pushed other buttons. The car headlights flashed on. Angelica pushed the button again. The flash went off. Chucky was the first one to spot the car outside the window. Tommy, did you see that? Chucky screamed. Tommy look, but he didn't see anything. See what? He asked. Angelica pushed the button. The car lights flashed on and off. She pushed. Other buttons, the windshield wipers switched back and forth. The car's alive, Bill cried out. Ah, the babies are screaming. Angelica smiled. I told you babies too. My game, she said. Now I brought this car to life. It was my servant.